Hey, welcome to the Bullpen Sessions podcast, a podcast for driven insurance professionals who are looking to reach their full potential in their insurance careers. This is the place where we help motivated insurance professionals build the right mindset and tools to create more credibility with their target prospects. I'm your host, Andy Neary, former professional athlete turned insurance advisor. Each week, you will learn tips and strategies to help you execute a clear prospecting game plan every single week. Clarity creates action. When you're clear, you're confident. When you're confident, you're consistent. When you're consistent, you are unstoppable. All right, let's dive into today's episode. Hey, welcome back to Bullpen Sessions. My name is Andy Neary, and this is episode 284. Today, I am joined by Carl Willis. Carl is the founder of Simplicity Marketing, an online digital agency. He is also a pastor as well as an international keynote speaker. Here's the reason I wanted to have Carl on. His digital marketing agency specifically works with the insurance industry. I had met him offline. In fact, I was on his podcast. And when I heard what he did in the niche he had, I knew I had to have him on this show. Why should you tune in? Because this is going to be a marketing masterclass. We are going to talk about all things marketing, digital marketing, where it's going. So if you are a producer, you run an agency, and you want to know how you are going to stand out in the market for the years ahead, you are going to want to tune into this episode. Like I said, this thing is a marketing masterclass. Carl drops so many nuggets on how to create content, how you should think about your content, where you should be posting your content, and how to identify your ideal target. All things we practice here at Complete Game Consulting, which is why I wanted to have him on the show. So tune in, get your notepad and pen ready. You are going to take a ton of notes. Carl is full of wisdom. I can't wait for you to listen to this episode. All right, let's dive in. Carl Willis, welcome to Bullpen Sessions. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Andy. It's good to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited about this conversation. You and I actually just met not that long ago. And what really intrigued me, and it's the reason I wanted to have you on the show, is it's not every day you run into a digital marketing agency that specializes in insurance.
Exactly.
And when we were talking about that, and you said that, I was like, okay, this is a conversation I want to have. So you are the founder of Simplicity Marketing, which is kind of it sits over a lot of your companies that sit underneath that umbrella, like Agent Branding and Marketing, Remodeling Marketing Team. I'm curious because I think you actually you didn't have a niche at one time, but what really made you go, all right, we see this opportunity in the insurance industry, so we're going to niche this digital agency into insurance?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I started as a generalist, meaning that I would service anybody, the restaurant, the skating rink, the insurance agent, the doctor's office, all of those things. But with each client, I was having to learn a new business. We were having to create new systems over and over again, new strategies. And so I began to do some white label work for a company that was specialized in a particular niche. And I saw the value of that. Same team, same processes, same strategies. All you were having to do was modify based on who the client was and what the demographics of the prospective audience was. And so much more efficient. And then I began to study other agencies, and those that were producing the highest levels of revenue had one thing in common. They were specialized in one niche only, and that was their focus. And so success leaves clues. And I took the clue. We had been, kind of leveled out for a few years, and a lot of guys who are entrepreneurial understand that. After it's about the third year, and your profit and loss statement looks about the same, you realize I've got to do something different. And that's how those verticals were born out. Agent branding and marketing would be the one that's most appropriate for our conversation today. Insurance agents need a lot of help. They're in a crowded field, and a lot of competition out there. So how do you stand out?
I love that you said that the story about how you decided to niche. I have some friends who own agencies, and when they decided to niche down and really get targeted, whether it be on an industry or sometimes a product, like I know peers who have agencies that exclusively focus on captives. The second they niched, their agency took off
Yes.
because they were no longer this, we can help you with everything. They were, this is who we are. This is who we're the best fit for because we are the best at selling this. And that's where you saw their growth just absolutely skyrocket. So I love hearing you say that. Here's what I'm curious about, Carl. You know, marketing and insurance haven't always gone together in a very harmonious way. When you look across the landscape in insurance today, what are some of the common mistakes you see agencies making when it comes to their marketing?
There's a couple of them that I see. I see a lot of agencies that are too reliant on corporate produced material. So their marketing doesn't look any different than any other producer that is representing that particular company. I think that's mistake number one. There's no differentiator. And I'm not going to pick on a particular company by name, but you'll know who I'm talking about. There's a particular company that shows up during sporting events, and everybody knows their primary character. We'll call him Jim from down at the farm. And I see lots of the agents representing that company. All of their marketing is Jim down at the farm. Problem is, Jim down at the farm doesn't need any more visibility. The agent needs the visibility. And we see that in all lines. And so, part of the thing that I see so often is agents don't give the consumer a reason to know, like, and trust them. They may know, like, and trust the brand, but they don't know, like, and trust the agent because they don't know anything about the agent.
That's a good point. Now that pertains to an agency an agent that works for a larger entity that has brand recognition, right? But the agent does not. What about the independent agent who doesn't even have brand awareness, right? So they don't have the ability to work for a logo a lot of people recognize. They're out on their own. Not only do they not have much recognition, their agency doesn't have much brand recognition. What are some of the mental hurdles? Because you and I talked offline about brand and people's perception about brand. What are some of the common mental hurdles you see agencies or the agency owners having when you talk to them about establishing brand recognition?
That's a great question, Andy. Let's kind of back that up a little bit. For that independent agent, their name has to become everything. That brand has to become everything because there's not a multi-million-dollar Super Bowl campaign going on to promote them. But yet I see the same mistakes. They may have 15 different carriers they represent. They may have one main carrier they represent, and they still want to just rely on those corporate produced materials. They're not establishing their true identity. And you have to realize, as an independent, part of the value of your brand is you're not locked into any one company. You've got the ability to shop on behalf of the consumer. That's something that has to be part of your messaging. And so the mental hurdle, though, is people don't feel like they have anything to offer. They feel like they don't look good on camera. They don't talk good enough, that they wouldn't know what to say, that they don't like social media, that, the list is endless, but those are probably the top three. I don't look good. I don't like the way I sound. I wouldn't know what to say. And number four is I don't like social media, period. Uh, Terrible excuses. They are losing business every day because they're not willing to get past those mental hurdles. And part of what has to happen, Andy, and I think you understand this as well. Your why has to be sufficient enough to get you past your discomfort. You have to get to that place where the pain of staying the same is far less. The pain of change is far less than the pain of staying the same. And that's where so many producers have to get to.
Yeah, I love what you referenced about relying on a lot of the carrier produced marketing. I call that complacent marketing, where it's what do the carriers have that we can just send out and slap our logo on? that's complacent marketing. That's lazy marketing. You have to be producing stuff internally that is organically yours. Don't be relying on your partners to throw out the corporate marketing materials that you can just put in front of your prospects. So, okay, we've got an agency who says, Carl, I'm sold. I get it. I don't know where to start.
Absolutely.
We get that a lot. I don't know where to start. We need to create more awareness in this market with our advice. We are in a very noisy market and we've got a lot of brokers talking about the same stuff, but we need to find a way to grab more attention from our prospects. Where should an agency start?
That's a great question, Andy. This is kind of a different answer. It may catch the audience a little bit off guard. I'm not going to name a platform or a place. What I'm going to really name for you is you need to get clear. You need clarity. Your greatest clarity needs to be on who it is that you're trying to talk to, because that's going to answer the next question. And so, what we've really got to look at, we call this in marketing creating your customer avatar. I like to define it this way: who is your best potential client? Who's the person that is going to make you the most money? Who's going to stay with you the longest? Who's going to become an advocate for you and your business? Who's going to send lots of referrals your way? Who's going to be with you for years to come? And is going to give you opportunities to get in front of their audiences and meet their friends and their peer groups. You've got to define who that person is, and not just in a quick 5-minute synopsis. You need to dig deep. I always like to explain it this way in our business. Our customer avatar is 40 years of age to 64 years of age. They're very family oriented. They love to travel. The reason they opened their insurance agency is they got tired of working for someone else. What they're dreaming of is creating a legacy piece that they can pass down to their kids or their grandchildren. They love to be involved in community causes. They love to be known as somebody who makes a difference. They prefer classic rock, sometimes country music. We get down to the minutia. What are they watching on television? What are their favorite sports? What do they do in their spare time? Where are they going on vacation? I want to have a complete picture of who that individual is, because then it's easier to talk to.
Yeah. So you said that was step one. If you do that well, now you can go to step two. Okay. So we are laser clear on who we're identifying. And I love that you talked about a lot of those details, like where did they go to college? What do they watch? How many kids? I mean, you have to get down to that kind of detail to identify your ideal prospect. Once I have clarity on that, where do I go next?
So, Andy, the next place you're going to go is, now that you know who that person is, you have to think about, where does that person get their information? Where does that person go online? Everybody's online all the time. Good grief. You get in traffic and you're behind a person that just, 30 seconds at a stoplight, they can't resist. What we have to figure out is, where are they at? What are they looking at? Professionals may want to gravitate towards LinkedIn. Somebody who is highly social, maybe more of an Instagram, Facebook kind of person. If they're a little nerdy like me, they're on YouTube. I'm constantly watching videos, constantly learning stuff. And now you have the new thing that's kind of the disruptor, AI. What are they doing in the AI world? And so you've got to make this determination. My best, most likely customer tends to spend their time here. Now, again, if I look at our typical avatar, when they're dealing professionally, they're on LinkedIn. When they chase their kids and grandkids, they're on Facebook and Instagram. And when they want to learn something, they go to YouTube. They do their basic research off of their smartphone, but then they do their heavy lifting on their laptop. So I have to think all of those things through when I'm thinking content. Do I want to use video for them? So if I know they're going to spend a lot of time in the highly social environment, Instagram, Facebook, then maybe what I want to do is very short snippets of information. That could be shorts, that could be reels. If there's somebody who's a little more in depth and analytical, this is going to be a little longer sales process. then I probably want to do some webinars, some longer form video. I probably want to write some authoritative blog articles. And let's just kind of delve into that for a minute, Andy. It's not enough just to throw up 300 words that Chat GPT spit out for you. That's not authoritative. Authoritative positions you as the expert. It is so valuable that Google recognizes it's valuable, and so does the public. And the little caveat to that is Google right now is doing a major algorithm overhaul on their platform, getting rid of what they call spammy AI generated content. So what they're looking for is four things: experience, expertise, authority, and trust. Guess what? So is your audience. And so if you will keep those four pillars in mind, experience, expertise, authority, and trust, how can I demonstrate that? And which platform is going to allow me to do that best with the audience that I have chosen to serve?
You bring up something that is so important, is now that we all have the ability to use a platform like ChatGPT to create content, it's leveled the playing field, right? It means more people can do it, but it also means the content's going to get worse. And your message there was spot on about just because you can go just create an article purely from chat, copy paste it, you shouldn't do that. One thing we teach, and there's a reason behind it, is I'm a big believer in video, and I know not everybody is video savvy or wants to be on video. But what we started doing, Carl, it's been really interesting. There's a plugin you can put on your computer called YouTube Summaries with ChatGPT. And it's a way you can take your videos on YouTube and instantly transcribe them, and then take the transcription over to a chat and let it help you write an article around the video or something. What I love about that concept, and I'd love your view on that, is you don't it's your words. The only thing you're writing an article is around your words because it's your video transcription. And with as tight as things are going to get around AI and what's real and what's not, I tell our clients, these are your words. Your words matter. These aren't just some words we pulled off the internet. The words that came out of your video are what really can set you up as a subject matter expert. Is that something you agree with? Or is that something
I wholeheartedly agree with that, Andy. The only caveat I would make to that is I use an extension called GLASP to do the same thing.
Okay.
But understand this, as we talk to the audience, one of the things that is now out there is the ability to train a GPT specifically for your business, down to even your personality. So if you're training it on your transcripts, if you're training it on your personality, it's going to really begin to reflect you in the content it produces. But let's move just beyond, the AI produced content. The other thing I see a lot of agents do is they just post crap just to post something. And that's not a good strategy either. Be intentional. One intentional piece of content that is carefully thought out will produce infinite results. I call it residual marketing. It will be out there doing its work for you year after year after year. Garbage, nobody's going to pay attention to. And so the name of the game, and this is what the search algorithms are looking for. This is what the Facebook algorithm is looking for. It's looking for engagement. What are you producing that gets people talking, that gets them asking questions, that gets them pointing back to your article as a resource? And so the more authoritative you make your content, the better success you're going to have in the digital world.
I love that you brought that up because I get this question a lot. Andy, what's the proper length for a video? And my answer is, well, a 15-minute video that has an amazing message is amazing. A 90-second video full of crap is crap. The length isn't the problem. What are you talking about? The message matters. Don't post crap. It doesn't matter how long it is. Just make it good.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about this, though, Andy. I think this is a great segue. If you've got a strong content strategy, you're going to repurpose every piece of content you make.
Yep.
Every blog post becomes a video. Every video gets chopped up into short form videos or reels, whatever you want to call them. We're constantly going to repurpose everything we do. And here's your gold nugget for the audience. Take your long form video. There is an AI short form video creator called Video AI,
We use it here. Yep.
It's absolutely free, 75 minutes of video per month. Upload your YouTube video, it'll chop it up, it'll put the captions to it, it'll give you pretty frames. So you're not having to work harder, work smarter. But now what you're doing, and this is what we're seeing in content, if you were to upload that same short form video to Facebook directly, you might get a 5% audience engagement. If you upload it as a reel, Facebook will organically begin to show it beyond your audience. So your numbers will be much better. The strategy that we like to teach, and you may teach the same thing, Andy, we like to teach that you write your blog post, you record a video on that blog post, even if all you do is read your blog post on video. Now you have two pieces of content out of that original blog post. Then the next thing we like to do with that is we like to chop the blog post up into social media posts, and we like to chop up the long form video into shorts. And those shorts go to LinkedIn, to Facebook, to Instagram, and to YouTube shorts. Don't forget YouTube shorts. It is now probably the biggest momentum setter on YouTube, even more so than long form videos.
We apply the same strategy. I love that, except we often have people who do the video first and let the video then kind of guides the article.
Perfect.
And so, but the same concept, what does this all do? It makes you searchable. And I think that's the name of the game. Hey, quick announcement. If you are an insurance professional looking to optimize the way you prospect and generate leads, and you find yourself intrigued by LinkedIn, but just don't know where to start, I want to talk to you about the Social Media Sales Academy. Listen, the idea of diving into social media and putting yourself out there can be daunting, and the fear of presenting your best self online is real. But let's face it, the traditional methods of prospecting are failing you, and it is time for a change. Who is the Social Media Sales Academy for? If you are a driven insurance professional looking to grow your revenue, but strapped for time, you're looking for a more efficient way to prospect, and you are just watching others have success on the platform, and you want to have the same success, I want to talk to you. Over 6 weeks, you are going to learn directly from me the ins and outs of LinkedIn using our proprietary playbook, the LinkedIn Diamond Playbook. By joining the Academy, you are going to learn how to create a prospect-friendly LinkedIn profile, how to find your ideal prospects and send connection requests that actually get accepted. You're going to learn how to post content that engages and attracts your ideal prospect. You'll learn how to show up on video with confidence. And you're going to learn how to send direct messages that turn connections into sales conversations. If this sounds like something you know you need to do, I want you to go to CompleteGameConsulting.com/academy. That is CompleteGameConsulting.com/academy. You'll jump on a call with us, see if it's a fit for you, and we'll get you enrolled. The next class starts on May 1st. I hope to talk to you soon. Talk to us, though, Carl. The question we get a lot is, okay, you sold me on the content. What should I do? Should I do videos or articles or blogs? What should I be doing? So many people get stuck on the what type of content. What's your recommendation?
So I'm going to tell you to go with your sweet spot. You know what's best for you. Me, I'm a public speaker by nature, so video works well for me. I can flip the camera on and just talk and create a lot of content. Early on, when I didn't have a large marketing budget, I was writing my own articles. What I would really encourage is if you're not a strong writer, hire a writer. There are many good writers out there. They'll charge you next to nothing. I have a writer right now, charges $20 for a 2,000 word article, and does a great job. He's worked for me for years. A college kid looking for extra money could write great articles. So go with your strength. If you're a good writer, start writing. And if you're a little afraid of the camera, then make a voiceover video. Turn that writing into PowerPoint slides, record a voiceover. There's always a way to get around that. But here's the thing that I think is most critical. People do business with those they know like, and trust. And so beyond the authority piece, you've got to become approachable. And the place you're going to become approachable is going to be LinkedIn or Facebook. And so you want to create some presence there. You want to talk to your audience because I want to know who I'm doing business with. You know, you're an insurance agent. I'm getting ready to disclose to you all of my health issues. I'm going to disclose to you all of the risks in my life. I want to make sure that I like you and trust you before I do that.
Talk to me a little bit. I didn't intend to ask you this, but I also am a public speaker. It has changed my career from a marketing standpoint. I know it's not digital, but talk to us about public speaking and your view of it as part of an effective marketing strategy. Because I think there's nothing else that can turn a cold suspect into a hot prospect as fast as public speaking. What are your viewpoints on public speaking and its place in an overall marketing strategy?
So I have a mentor who says it this way: stage time is money time. Public speaking will move people from audience to customer quicker than anything else. Second piece is public speaking establishes your authority greater than any other thing. Uh, Books are second. So if you want a 1-2 combination, write a book, go public speaking, make sure your book's available when you speak. Here's the other piece about public speaking, though, that's so powerful, and this is what we really miss, is it gives you the opportunity to tap into somebody else's audience.
Yeah.
You're speaking to people who may not be familiar with you in the moment, but they begin to learn a lot about you. If you don't mind, Andy, I'm going to share a quick story about just
Please
how
do.
critical this is. The man that's been my business mentor for most of the last 10 years, I had no idea who he was, and he was the opening speaker on a Saturday morning at a conference I was attending. And as I listened to him for an hour, I realized he had what I needed to take my business pursuits to the next level. And it was that public speaking event that began that relationship. Out of that relationship, he has networked me with other business leaders over the years, and we have done multiple 7 figures of business together because of that networking. So what happens as the public speaker is you instantly are elevated to celebrity status. What you find when you come off stage is people want to grab you and ask you more questions. And then they want to buy your lunch, and then they want to pick your brain. And you begin to network and you begin to develop really strong personal ties. So you definitely want to use public speaking. But here's the other thing: most public speeches today are recorded. So guess what? Now we go back to the same process we just talked about. It goes to YouTube, it gets chopped into shorts, it gets used as reels. So all you're going to do is accelerate your momentum that much faster.
I love that because I think that is I'm guilty of it sometimes. I go speak at an event that isn't recording, and I should know that ahead of time. And if I had known it ahead of time, I probably would have brought in my own people to record it because the content that comes out of a speaking engagement is invaluable. And if you have a 45, 60-minute keynote, you have clips you could be sharing for months from that one keynote alone. So,
absolutely. And let me just preface this too. One of the books that I wrote is actually my PowerPoint presentation from speaking engagements. And all I did was add some content to it and converted it into a book and then ran it up the bestseller list on Amazon. So don't think outside the box. It's not just one speaking event. What can you do with those slides? What can you do with that recording? You have a lot of opportunities there. It can be a podcast episode. So many things you could do with that public speaking event.
I think one of the biggest takeaways I'd love my audience to hear, because these are a lot of advisors, right, looking to differentiate themselves in the market. Look at everything as content. I remember I was working with an agency last summer, and they were getting nervous after we had created the strategy. Like, how are we going to come up with all this content, right? And then out of the side of the room over here was sitting a producer, and he said, well, we've actually been recording the last 2 years of all of our virtual open enrollment meetings. I said, you have more content than you ever knew. Everything is content. Your conversations with clients, your conversations with prospects, your open enrollment meetings. If you're recording it, it is content. And I think if we could get more agencies, Carl, to think like a media company that happens to sell insurance, we'd have more agencies growing faster because of the awareness they were building.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So let me ask you this. As we start to wrap up the show here, as you look ahead, I want to ask 2 more questions. As you look ahead and things are changing so fast in the world of digital marketing because of AI and everything going on, are there any trends that you see coming that agencies should start really grasping onto so they can continue to stay ahead of the curve with marketing?
Yeah, I think this is super critical, Andy. We are reverse engineering the way the experimental AI at Google is returning results. And we are looking at what is that AI pulling from to give the results. And what it's pulling from is content around the ecosystem. And when I say ecosystem, your universe online is what that AI is looking for. So it used to be keyword based. If I could just, you know, get the keyword density in the right place and create the content the right way, we could rank. Well, what we're seeing with the predictive AI is the AI is not just looking at the ranking factors, but then it's going out to LinkedIn, it's going out to Facebook, it's going out to YouTube, the Better Business Bureau, your reviews, and it is looking at your content and it is looking at your footprint. And the greatest way to enhance that footprint is content. How much content can I put in how many different places to build my brand in multiple locations, multiple platforms, multiple modalities? Because what that AI is doing, you know, I grew up in the 80s, so it takes a Terminator to take care of a Terminator. And the machine is thinking like a machine. Well, if you are the expert with the most experience and you're the authority and the most trusted person in this field, then you shouldn't just rank because of keyword metrics. You should rank everywhere else. You should be visible everywhere else. Your authority, your expertise should be visible in all these other places. And so this discussion of content is going to be the key to commerce. I believe in the next 6 months, Google will roll out a Copilot function, just like Microsoft has. I believe in the next 18 months, the experimental AI search results on Google will be what Google looks like. And so you've got to start paying attention to your footprint. If you've been absent on LinkedIn, if you've been absent on Facebook, if you've not been posting to your Google business profile, if you're not taking advantage of YouTube and podcasts and some of those things, your competitors are going to do that and they're going to run right past you. However, right now we're on the front end, and those who get ahead of the curve are going to be in the pole position for a long time. And so
you said something in a way I haven't been able to put in the right words, and I think you just said it really well. If you put effort into content and showing up on all these different platforms, it is a way you can outflank the keyword search because of your presence and the authority that you show because you're on so many different platforms.
That's correct, Andy. It's the key. And the part of what we teach, and it's the same thing you're teaching. We want to dominate the marketplace with shock and awe. You know, that was the term from the Gulf War. But as an agent, you want to dominate your marketplace with shock and awe. You want to so overwhelm your market that people just know you're untouchable. They don't even think about trying to come after you. You're so far ahead, and that's the position that we always want to see you in.
You know, you brought up something quick. I just want to say before I ask the last question, we have clients. A really funny thing happens when people start putting themselves out there a lot more frequently. They're like, I had a friend or I had a peer reach out and say, "Hey, John, looks like you're doing really well. I see your content everywhere." And what I realized is the more you put out there, it builds that credibility that people assume your business is booming. Even if it's true or not, seeing that content, that shock and awe you reference, that comes with that authority and credibility that these guys are good. And that matters when you're doing business. That's what keeps the competitors away. I love that you said that. Last question. Okay, let's wrap this thing up. Love this conversation. We've got somebody listening and going, again, I'm sold. Where do I start? What's that one thing, that one takeaway you want to leave with this audience today? These are a bunch of producers and agency owners going, all right, Carl, I finally get it. I need to be a media company here. What is it you want to leave them with?
I think the biggest thing is it's not a magic bullet. You're going to have to work at it. Your role will become driving your business forward with your media content. You have to start thinking like a CEO and not like a producer. Your job is to drive the brand forward, and that's going to be your day-to-day work. And so you are going to have to look at what things are you doing that are keeping you from moving your business forward. It's not a magic bullet. It's not we often have to tell producers, this isn't a lead generation strategy, although you will have plenty of leads from it. It is about building a legacy business, something that will outlast you if you want it to. And so you've got to get clear on your outcomes as you get started.
Yep.
But you've got to change your mindset. You're not a producer, you're the CEO of a media company that happens to sell insurance.
I love that. Where can people find you, Carl?
They can find me at agentbrandingandmarketing.com, and they can also tune in to the Digital Insurance Agent podcast.
Well, it's been a pleasure. This was a great conversation. It's kind of like a little marketing masterclass. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Andy. It's been a pleasure.
And for everybody else tuning in, this was a masterclass. You want to learn how to grab attention no matter what kind of market you're in, you just heard it for the last 30 minutes. So, my mission with these podcasts, folks, is to help give you clarity. Carl talked about clarity. Clarity breeds confidence. Confidence leads to consistency. And when you are consistent, you become unstoppable. So listen to what Carl said, model it, watch your agency thrive. Take care. That's all we got for today's episode of the Bullpen Sessions podcast. One thing that would really help us both and other new potential listeners is for you to rate this show and leave a comment in iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you tune in to listen to the show. Also, make sure to link up with us at CompleteGameConsulting.com on social media. And please share this podcast with anyone who you think might enjoy it. Until next time, remember, clarity creates confidence. Confidence creates consistency. Consistency makes you unstoppable.